guys, I just left the Holly Springs Artisan Market. It was great. I had a really fun time.
Okay guys, who remembers the story we covered on Monica Monan? This is a devastating story, guys. It is so sad because I thought that she wasn't going to get justice. Well, I'm kind of confused. So it was sad because we didn't think she would get justice, but we are coming up on a year later and they have finally made an arrest on this case. And guys, I am so happy to hear that. And I know a lot of you, this was not a popular story, but for me, all these stories mean a lot. Every girl, every child, every man, it doesn't matter. We want to see justice for them. And Monica was in a relationship with this horrible, horrible man. So let me teach you guys a little bit of background. Now, Monica was just 23 years old. Her boyfriend, Brian SLUSS, was 44 years old, way older than Monica. And the way that he took care of her, what he wrote anyways, is that he would go into Walmart, steal items, and then bring those items out of the store, sell them. And that's how he would feed the family. Been dating him for quite a period of time. I don't remember exactly right now, guys. I'm sorry, I'm just doing a quick update. But Brian SLUSS had 2 children with Monica. Absolutely adored her children. Now, Monica was struggling financially, but she was trying to get her own business started through ecstasy, and that was doing things like homemade medical syrups and things like that. And if you want more information, you can check out my older video that'll go into more detail. This is more just kind of like an update. The people believe that the last time that Monica was seen or heard from, and I did find a post of hers that was on I think it was Facebook group that she had for her business on April 2nd. So guys, get this, months go by and nobody's really seen Monica. However, there's texts coming in to her family, and it took a while, but the family said some of those texts just did not sound like Monica at all. And this is because of certain words and phrases that was said to them, kind of tipped them off of who they thought was behind Monica's phone. And one of those phrases was, words was the term "the ladies." And this is the way that Brian SLUSS would refer to his girlfriend and his daughter. So the family got suspicious. The police were called eventually, so it's like 4 months she's been gone. And investigators come in. They tried to find her, but there's no Monica anywhere. They ended up going through the house, collecting some forensic evidence, like out of the sinks, storage, soil, things like that, where investigators did find a little bit of evidence of her DNA. Now, guys, it's been a long time since I've actually talked or even looked at this story, so like I mentioned, please refer to my older video for details of what the police find and things like that. Long story short, guys, that text, "the ladies in my life," matches what you can see here, which is on Brian SLUSS' Facebook. Now, what we're hearing is also Brian SLUSS had a conversation with his ex-wife, our girlfriend, that said, will they ever find her? She asked him, and he says, no. I went through Brian SLUSS' Facebook and found that he had some pretty disturbing things, on his Facebook, and this was one of them. You can see the girl with the bat behind her back, and he has flowers, and this is basically telling you that he feels like he's the one that's the victim, but in reality, he doesn't really get that he's the one with the bat and the women are the one with the flowers. Also, some of his posts on Facebook actually sound kind of Well, they make you wonder, what's going on in his mind. He seems to be suffering from depression. But when I was scanning over his Facebook, this one was the most concerning to me. He says, priorities mean everything. If you're an afterthought, it's time you become one. So here it's basically he's saying, if I'm not in your thoughts, then guess what? You're not going to be here any longer. So he's basically just confessed, most likely on Facebook, to what his intentions were for people, whoever he's talking about, which we can assume or speculate that it was Monica. Don't give me the attention, then you won't be here. So very, very concerning message. According to Monica's mother, Monica was a wonderful mother. She was the type of girl that it was a go-getter. She wasn't afraid, to be independent. But there was something even more concerning that I found out as I dug deeper into this case. And it was the fact that Monica had mentioned that her relationship with Brian SLUSS, was actually violent. So violent one time to her that she mentions that she felt that she was not going to live because he was choking her so hard. She really was afraid that she was not going to survive. And like I mentioned before, and especially in the last story, she ended up getting a restraining order against him. But I believe at some point in between all that, she had let him come back. Especially, we find out she was pregnant. There was a possibility that she was pregnant just recently. I forgot to mention to you guys that this is coming out of Holly Springs, North Carolina. And a news story just came out a few days ago saying that Monica's ex-boyfriend was arrested in connection to her disappearance and murder. So we were approaching, I know, close to a year. So it's probably about 10 months this case has been open and going. And now her family is now, speaking out. They're letting Brian know that they want justice. So he made his first court appearance in Wake County in the courtroom. I didn't have time to get the exact dates for you this time, guys, but this was just recently. And Monica, known as Moni to her family, her family said that they felt for the first time that there was justice. Well, justice for Monica. So there's a real possibility. And this probably brought them a sigh of relief, knowing that he might not get away with this. Now, guys, I'm doing this in a hurry. But Monica's sister, Samantha Monan, said, quote, "We suffered for months and months, not having a clue where she is. And that's the main thing that we've asked for," end quote. So guys, there's that little bit of disappointment there, but there's also some excitement. And what scares me is this might be another case like the Kelsey Berreth case, where they're not able to recover her. But they did, like I said, they found, residue, which belonged to her, in between the cracks of the tiles, as well as other places, which if you watch the older video, it goes more into details of that aspect anyways. So we did hear that investigators are getting, I guess, new search warrants in this case, and that's for his Facebook and Google and a few other accounts, I believe. All right, so I think that he was arrested May 5th, so that's Tuesday. And so he's charged with first-degree murder. And on Wednesday afternoon, which is the 6th, he was processed into the county detention center after being held in, I guess it's Tazewell County, which is in Virginia. According to a few articles, he was arrested at his parents' home in actually Bluefield, Virginia. Another article says that Brian SLUSS had nothing to say as officers walked him into the Wake County Detention Center, even as people asked him, quote, "Do you have anything to say about her family?" end quote. Also, the Holly Springs Police Chief, John Herring, said that his investigators had done an exceptional job working for 10 months to put this case together for the victim, who has never been found. He says, quote, "While this was a very emotional case, they were able to set those emotions aside and do what they do best. Yesterday, it paid off for us," end quote. Absolutely good job, guys. Y'all did an amazing job because they really didn't have a lot to work with. I'm very happy to hear this. It's nothing like the Lori Vallow case where they had tons of stuff to work with, but they just let it slip through their fingers. Now, according to the district attorney, Lauren Freeman, she said she was satisfied that Holly Springs police have a strong case and hopes that the arrest brings some closure for her family. The grand jury returned an indictment for murder against SLUSS. And as we all know, I mean, we've seen families, for example, Sarah Galloway's family. I haven't had time to do that video because I haven't had time. I really don't have the information I want to share right now, but I will get it out. But on Sarah Galloway, she was found. They found her on a trail. A hiker found her. And let me tell you, those detectives, absolutely worthless, right, as far as we can tell. I mean, I'm just not real happy with how that case is going. So this family was very, very lucky to have this team on their side. So I'm very happy to hear everything is going well for this family, as well as it can in this type of situation anyways. If you would like to read this entire article, you can check it out at WRAL. But before I close this out, I want to go over, Monica's lack of remains. So according to the police chief, Herring, he said, quote, "There's a good amount of circumstantial evidence in this case, but I'll tell you this, there's also a lot of physical evidence in this case," end quote. Now, guys, I'm hoping it's just stuff we haven't seen. I haven't really seen that much of the physical evidence, but also I haven't researched this case in probably 8 months. Chief Herring continues to say, quote, "There are some challenges and hurdles when you don't have a body, but we feel like we've got a really, really solid case here," end quote. All right, so that's really good news. I think I'm so happy for their family right now. So I'll go over a few things really quickly. So what the investigators found when they did search Moni's apartment was, and this was in Timber Springs, and back in August, investigators seized traps from the kitchen sink and 2 bathroom sinks. They collected the drain from the washing machine. And like I mentioned earlier, police took soil samples from the area. They swabbed for evidence on the back door and on the back porch. They also seized a set of curtains off the back door, as well as, I believe, a toy play mat, sorry guys, 2 silver latches, a journal, and other items from the apartment, according to the search warrant. Moni's father said at least they're taking the first steps, for justice. So that is true. And I'm glad that, the family are looking at the positive side of this, because there's no way that you can go back and change any of this that happened. All we can say is, thank God they got another creep off the streets. Now, I'm kind of concerned with Brian SLUSS. I'm not sure if it's his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife who was talking to him and asking him, will they be able to find her? And he said no. What's her role in this and what's going on with her? So we haven't heard anything else on her as of now. But again, it's just another shocking case where you hear like the Kelsey, Berreth, and Lori Vallow, where other people are involved with hurting other people. This is a group of people. It's bad enough that you can find one person that can do these devastating things to other people. But when you can find a group, and this is becoming more common, and this is shocking to me. And I can imagine it's just as shocking to you. Anyways, guys, I just threw this together. I didn't do a lot of research. I just wanted to get this out there. So if there was anybody following this case, and I hope that, you know, people are at least read her case and understand that this is another girl that needed justice. I want to say to you guys, I love you. I appreciate you guys watching this channel. Thank you for subbing. Thank you for liking. And thank you for commenting. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and close out now and say I'll see you guys soon. All right. Bye-bye.